Good morning. This is Father Stephen Kelly from St. John's Church in Detroit. We're continuing our series of daily morning meditations where we generally look at one or another of the lessons that are assigned for morning or evening prayer, what is known as the Daily Office Lectionary. And today is Tuesday, January 17th, and it's a particularly special day for me because it was on this day in 1989 that I attended my first meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. And by God's grace, one day at a time, and through working the steps and having a fellowship of individuals who were interested in my sobriety and I in theirs, by God's grace, I have stayed sober these 34 years. So, but again, one day at a time. So today I thought we'd take a look, interestingly, at the lesson from Proverbs because, I think it's always good to read from Proverbs. I think today is especially helpful. We're at Proverbs chapter 6, verses 12 through 19. A naughty person, a wicked man, walketh with a froward mouth. He winketh with his eyes, he speaketh with his feet, he teacheth with his fingers. Frowardness is in his heart, he deviseth mischief continually, he soweth discord. Therefore shall his calamity become suddenly, suddenly shall he be broken without remedy. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that devises wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among the brethren. Okay, so speaking about sobriety, this is, good advice for living. For those who don't know how the 12-step programs work, you turn your will and your life over to the care of God because having admitted you have a problem with alcohol and that your life is unmanageable, you turn your will and your life over to the care of God, and then you get to work at rooting out all of those bad things in your lives and asking God for the grace to help you to amend your life, to remove those things, and then to make amends to others whom you've harmed. And then, of course, from there on, you're learning to pray for better conscious contact with God, that we make amends and have a daily examination of your consciences, and then you help others in recovery as well. And so it is basically the faith put in nice forms. And in fact, one of the founders of Alcoholics Anonymous, Bill Wilson, worked on the steps. He was a part of what was known as the Oxford Group, which was done at a lot of Episcopal churches back in the 30s. And he used the works of the Oxford Group, and with the help of his parish priest, Father Sam Shoemaker, was able to write these 12 steps of how to live a sober life, which is really, quite frankly, works perfectly well as how to live the Christian life. And so here we have it in the story from Proverbs that there are things that God hates. God hates sin and hates people when they're doing sinful things. But he loves the people and he wants to bring them to amendment of life, right? He wants to be perfectly merciful, but we certainly cannot, he's not going to leave us there in our sinfulness if we ask him for help. And so I just love that it starts out with a naughty person, a wicked man, walketh around with a froward mouth. In other words, he's somebody who's very quick to use his mouth for bad things, right? And he winketh with the eye, speaketh with his feet, teaches with his fingers. I'm trying to hold my hands now so I don't teach with my fingers. And that he's constantly causing trouble. And that these are things that he hates. Right? Proud look, lying tongue, shedding innocent blood, and all of those things. And he that soweth discord among the brethren, God help us. Right? So if we can figure out that this is what God hates, then by his grace, right, one day at a time, we can start to live lives in amendment from that type of living, and we can live according to his will. So anyway, today, Tuesday. We do have 12:15 Holy Communion today, and then 4 o'clock evening prayer. And God willing, we'll see you at church.